Welcome into Around the Indies. I'm the host with the most, baby. I'm the brilliant one. Welcome into this BIW preview show. We're previewing BIW's hard hitting questions. You're going to want to check this out this Saturday night, March the 29th, West Monroe, Louisiana, at the West Monroe Convention Center. It is going to be an action packed night. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button here on YouTube. Like this video. It helps us and helps independent wrestling. Also, check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, Audible, and many, many more platforms. If you like us on Apple Podcasts, give us that 5-star rating and review. It helps us and helps independent wrestling as well. BIW presents hard-hitting questions from the West Monroe Convention Center this Saturday night. It's going to be unbelievable. Before we jump into it, I'm just going to give my aspects on BIW. I love all independent wrestling. I support all independent wrestling. That being said, BIW in this area and around is the premier. They have the top tier talent from all over, not just one area. This is from Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana, Florida, and many, many more places. BIW is the premier. BIW is where you want to perform. If you're on the independent scene, you're in this area, BIW is the top dog. Not knocking any other promotion, but BIW checks all the qualities. They've got all the boxes. You got top tier talent, great crowds, hot crowds, good draws. And you just got absolutely just 100% top production when you come to BIW. It's less talk, more wrestling. That's, been their motto for years. Now, I'm not trying to downplay any promotion, but I would put BIW as the premier of the South. You got your Limitless, you got, GCW, you got Pro Wrestling Gorilla, you got all these independent promotions spread out throughout the country, and BIW is one of the top premiers. Not downplaying any other promotion, just putting it out there as my opinion on that. With that being said, let's jump into hard hitting questions with, coming up this Saturday night from the West Monroe Convention Center. This is going to be the first show that Brittany is the acting commissioner for. What is she going to have in store for West Monroe, Louisiana and BIW? We're going to find out come Saturday night, and that's going to be very interesting. You're going to want to check that out. You can get your tickets in advance at Coldwell Banker Group. Now, I don't know if they have any more tickets left, but if you're in the West Monroe area, you might want to check it out. They're $15. Now, if you want to pay at the door, you want to get in at the door, it's going to be $20, but you can get in at the door down in West Monroe, so go check it out. Now, we're going to open this up. There's been a thing called the Down on the Bayou tournament that's been going on. I'm a big fan of tournaments in independent wrestling. I love them. There's nothing like a good old tournament. Well, this one started about a couple months ago or so, and the final two matches of round one are happening this weekend in West Monroe. Now, already advanced is PJ Hawks, Alex Arsenal, Hunter Law, Geo Savage, Apocalypse, and Exodus Prime. All great talents, all well deserving to be in this tournament. Like I said, you're getting an array of talent. You're getting some of the best talent in the independent scene in the South on BIW shows. That's why I've kind of leaned as it's saying they're the premier, because that's kind of what I look at. But they're going to wrap up the first round of the Down on the Bayou tournament this weekend, and we're going to start with our first match, which is a Down on the Bayou tournament match. Who's going to advance in this matchup? You got the game changer, Christian Blake, taking on RJW. Can you say, this is going to be an incredible match. That's all I can say. Like, you got Christian Blake, game changer. I just absolutely love watching this guy. He's just incredible. And then RJW. I've been around RJW so many times. I've watched how he's done it. He's a monster. And, yeah, these two are going to tear the house down in this matchup. Big fan of both. Sorry, I had to take a sip there. I guess my Pepsi or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, so that's going to be one of the matches that rounds out, the first round of the Down the Bayou tournament. Our second first round match. Now this one, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. Rey Fury, once again. We're talking about Rey Fury again. He's gonna be taking on. Is it? I want to make sure I get this right. Is it Demo Diamond? I'm not too familiar with this kid, but I can tell you right now, if he's in BIW, he's got the talent. He's got the talent. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. Rey Fury, who's just been on a hot streak all over the independent wrestling scene. Demo Diamond's going to have his hands full. Can he pull it out? Can he beat Rey Fury? Or is Rey Fury going to move on to round two? We'll find out Saturday night in West Monroe, Louisiana. You're not going to want to miss it. We've got a couple more matches to hit up. Can't wait to get around to it. I'm telling you, like I said, BIW always puts on a great show. And come Saturday night, they're going to be in West Monroe. They always pack this house out. You're going to want to check it out. The only title that is on the line Saturday night is the BIW Tag Team Championship match. And this one looks exquisite. It looks like it's going to be phenomenal. We got Ricky Martinez, Nate Collins, horsepower, baby, coming in to take on Frankie Thomas, Wes Warren, Hate City, baby. I know Frankie Thomas. I know Wes Warren very well. Been around Eddie a lot, too. I'm going to just say this. Frankie Thomas and Wes Warren, they're coming to hurt somebody, and they're coming to take the BIW Tag Team Championships, and I wouldn't put it past them. This is going to be a phenomenal match. Another can't miss. Like I said, BIW puts on matches. Every match could be a main event anywhere on the independent scene. And then we got our next match, which we're going to wrap it up. There's 5 incredible matches this Friday night, and this one is another one. I'm going to just tell you this. One of my favorites to watch. I love watching him. He's great. One of the best heels on the independent scene. That's Rob Love taking on Bam Bam Malone. Rob Love is so dastardly. He's evil. I love it. Love it. He's going to take on Bam Bam Malone, former BIW Southern Heavyweight Champion, which is now held by Caleb Conley, who used to be in NWA and Impact Wrestling. And he'll be back soon, I know. So you're going to want to check that out. But this match right here, Bam Bam Malone taking on King Rob Love, is going to be absolutely phenomenal. You're not going to want to miss it. I got a couple more things we're going to talk about before we wrap up this episode. And one of the main things I want to talk about is that Saturday night, BIW has a special guest coming in. Mr. Anthony Green. That's right. He's been known all over the independent wrestling scene. The first place that I remember seeing Anthony Green was in Limitless Wrestling in Maine. And Randy Carver, great promoter, puts on some great shows. He's also got some phenomenal talent that has come through Limitless Wrestling. And on King of Wrestling podcast a few years ago, we had a Limitless Wrestling spotlight where we interviewed just wrestlers from for weeks. We interviewed wrestlers from Limitless Wrestling. Christian Casanova, who is now known as Carmelo in WWE, was on King of Wrestling podcast. You can go back and listen to that episode. But Anthony Green, just a phenomenal talent. He has spent time in WWE and NXT. I think it was from like 2020 to 2021. He wrestled on like 205 Live, NXT. He was part of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. But he's been out there. He's been on All Elite Wrestling. He wrestled on Dynamite. He's wrestled on AEW Dark. He wrestles currently for Pro Wrestling Noah. He's an exceptional talent. Very exceptional talent. And one of the talents that he's going to be taking on Saturday night, just happens to be, let me see here if we can get this pulled up. just happens to be Mr. Steve Anthony, who we talked about last night on the Lost Art of Wrestling, show. Okay? Steve Anthony, former two-time NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion. He's been all over the independent scene as well. He's wrestled in Japan. He's wrestled for Ring of Honor. You just name it, Steve Anthony's been there. Steve Anthony is one of the top guys in independent wrestling. Not just here. I'm talking about all over. It just shocks me this guy was never signed to a major contract. Just my opinion. These two are going to tear the house down. Now, there's a little bit of implications in this match concerning Rob Love. As we all know, the founding father of Southern royalty was Steve Anthony. Steve left. Rob Love took over. Things have happened. But since Steve Anthony's returned, Rob Love's been a thorn in Steve Anthony's side. So there's a little bit of implications to this match. And the implications is that if Steve Anthony beats Anthony Green, which is going to be a tall task, that is going to be a real tall task, Saturday night in West Monroe at the West Monroe Convention Center. But if he does beat Anthony Green, he gets a shot at Rob Love. He'll get that shot at Rob Love finally. But if he don't win, he's not going to get Rob Love in 2025, that's for sure. That's a fact that's guaranteed. And I know how Steve Anthony thinks. And he's thinking right now he's going to do whatever it takes to beat Anthony Green, not just to prove that he's the number one guy on the independent scene, but to get his hands on Rob Love, which I believe he will do. That's just my opinion. Now, like I said, if you want to get tickets, all you got to do, I think it's the Coldwell Bankers Group. You can get advance tickets there if they still have them. Now, I can't tell you for sure that they still have them. Hopefully they do. You can get them for $15 there. If not, you can get them at the door for $20. But you're not going to want to miss this show. Saturday night, March the 29th, West Monroe, Louisiana, at the West Monroe Convention Center. Please check it out. Now, before I get to the last part of the business here on the show, I just want you to know, if you want your logo, like Mississippi Film Works right here, all you got to do is hit us up. We got sponsoring packages. You just hit up kellybuckx@gmail.com for info and package prices. We will help you out there. Get your logo on the show and get your brand out there. We will promote you over and over and over again. It's just like Mississippi Film Works. Go check them out. They record independent wrestling matches all the time. They're loading all the time. Go check out their products right now on YouTube at Mississippi Film Works. Here on YouTube. Subscribe. Check them out. Also subscribe to us and like this video. And before we get to the last few minutes, I'm just going to say this. With Steve Anthony and, Anthony Green, let's hear what Anthony Green had to say about taking on Steve Anthony. Now, remember, this was a little bit ago, a few weeks ago. But guess who was in Japan when he cut this video? That's right. It was Anthony Green. Let's take it to him. Because we know Steve Anthony is very familiar with Japan as well. So is Anthony Green. Let's take it over to Anthony Green.
Steve Anthony. Do these orange chairs look familiar? Do they remind you of the glory days? Because for those who don't know, these are seated in the world-famous Korakuen Hall in Tokyo, Japan. A place that Steve Anthony is really familiar with. He's wrestled here once or twice, maybe 5-10 years ago. But me, today is my 23rd Korakuen Hall. The Michael Jordan of Korakuen Halls for Anthony Green. This is big for me. But you know what else is big for me? My Louisiana debut. My BIW debut, my first ever singles match with a former NWA World's Junior Heavyweight Champion. Steve, When I took this match, I thought it was just for business. But on March 29th, now, I'm making it personal.
He is the Michael Jordan of Corkin Hall. Check it out, baby. I'm telling you, this is a match you're not going to want to miss this coming Saturday night in West Monroe, Louisiana. I mean, this is going to be unbelievable. So make sure you're there. You're not going to want to miss it. But like I said, thank you for joining us. I've got one more small announcement. Was it small? Hold on. Let me check my notes here real quick. Hold on, let me check my notes. No, this is a big announcement. Let's end it with a big announcement. How about that? And we'll hear from it. I'll just say this right now. April 26th, Spring Hill, Louisiana, at the Spring Hill Civic Center. Special appearance, Buff Bagwell, baby. He's going to be making a special appearance not this coming, but April 26th. He will be there live and in living color. You're not going to want to miss it. Buff Bagwell coming to Spring Hill, Louisiana, coming to BIW. It's just like I said, you can see stars from the past and stars from the future in BIW. You're going to want to check it out. But why don't we just hear what Buff had to say before we get out of here? Let's hear what Buff had to say.
2025, me, Marcus Buff Bagwell, is coming to Spring Hill, Louisiana. Come see live pro wrestling while talking to Buff Getty himself. Enjoy family-friendly entertainment while getting your selfie and autograph from me. All of the live action will be at the Spring Hill Civic Center. Doors open at 7 p.m. and the bell time's at 7:30. Don't miss this event. Be there. See you guys in Spring Hill on April 26th. I am Buff and I am still the stuff.
Buff Bagwell, April 26th, Spring Hill, Louisiana, Spring Hill Convention Center. He'll be there. It's going to be fun. Special appearance from him. I want to thank you for tuning in here on Around the Indies, the preview show of BIW's Hard Hitting Questions. It's going to be an incredible show Saturday night. Make sure you check it out. And like I said, hit the subscribe button here on YouTube. Hit that like button. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, and Audible, and many, many more platforms. Give us that 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you soon. Sunday night, as a matter of fact, with another show. And I'm thinking maybe I tell a little bit more of my story, lead up a little bit more. Maybe I do that. Have a little special guest on because I'll go ahead and tell you. April 6th, I think it is. I think it's April 6th. Yeah, it's April the 6th. We're gonna have one of my favorites on. I'm gonna bring on Marvelous Monty Warbucks to join me on the Sunday night show. And we're gonna come up with a name for this Sunday night show. If you have any suggestions, leave comments below. Heck, you never know. We may use your idea. But thank you for tuning in to Around the Indies BIW's Hard Hitting Questions preview show. We'll see you Sunday night. Have a good one.